global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. So many hours ago, Sh0cks Gumi had told Nigerians that if you notice everything that is going on right now, you'll notice that all agitations have been quelled. The likes of Biafra agitations, Ipob, they have silenced themselves simply because Peter Obi is running for the presidency. He didn't stop there. He said, look at Oduduwa agitation, Oduduwa Republic, agitation for Oduduwa Republic has also quelled down simply because Bola Ahmed Tinubu also is a flag bearer. And he said, obviously, from all indication, all this whole issue of agitation and all that was just a way of cornering Nigerians to bending their hands to giving presidency or leadership on the platter to southeast or even southwest, where they looks like indigenous people of Biafra and Igbo generally have decided to correct that notion. The moment we're going to find out what it is they've said, even myself have also reacted to that. Let's go straight into the news of the day. But before we do that, like you subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, according to the news, the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, on Wednesday lashed out at the controversial cleric Sh0cks Gumi over his comment that the emergence of Peter Obi as the Labour Party LP presidential candidate has slowed down Biafra agitation in the southeast. However, the indigenous people of Biafra Ipob believes that Obi's involvement in Nigerian politics can't compromise the agitation for Biafra. Report has it that Gumi said the emergence of Obi as Labour Party presidential candidate has slowed down the agitation for Biafra. The clerics has said that Obi's movement has reduced Ipob's activities, thereby bringing relative peace in the southeast. Condemning Gumi's remark, Ipob reiterated that it does not recognize Obi as a Biafran because he opted to engage in Nigerian politics. The separatist group noted that Obi's involvement in presidential race would affect the agitation for Biafra. Ipob stressed that it does not engage in Nigerian election processes because it is shambolic and fraudulent. A statement by the indigenous people of Biafra spokesman, that's Ipob's spokesman Ima Powerful, described Gumi as clueless and uninformed about its activities. The statement reads partly, and I quote, "The attention of the global family and the movement of the indigenous people of Biafra under the command of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been drawn to the unguarded statement from Sh0cks Gumi alleging that the indigenous people of Biafran agitation has slowed down in the southeast region since Peter Obi picked up the ticket from Labour Party for presidential race in Nigeria. We understand that some unscrupulous elements in Nigeria, especially Fulani elements, were thinking that Peter Obi, who is among those running the race to become Nigerian president, would affect us or even change our decisions to pursue the freedom of our dear nation called Biafra." I quote him, "We have said it before now that the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, does not know Peter Obi, and Peter Obi does not know the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob. If Peter Obi knows Ipob and its aims and objectives, he wouldn't have come out in the first place to contest or even waste his wealth and vast knowledge, talent, and wisdom which God Almighty gave and blessed Biafrans with in this geological republic." I quote him, he said, "We can never slow down agitation until Biafra comes." Ipob, that's indigenous people of Biafra, said Gumi and his likes would not understand how Biafra would be actualized. A lot of reactions have come to it, but let's look at also, in summary, Massop said something similar to it. He said, look, that the fact that Peter Obi is emerging or will emerge or is contesting for the presidential seat of Nigeria doesn't stop the agitation. I could still also remember that Sunday Igboho, some many weeks back too, said that the fact that he's far away in is in faraway Benin Republic. It hasn't changed. Nothing has changed about the agitation for Yoruba nation, regardless of the fact that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is also running in that angle as well as the presidential candidate for Southwest, and he believes is well for someone like Sunday Igboho. He believes that the Southwesterners are marginalized, and that some of their resources that ought to go for Southwesterners, that they ought to enjoy, is being enjoyed by the Northerners in juicy positions. Hence, the typical Southwestern Nigeria is giving very low graded jobs. Sometimes they live in poverty, even though their land is so rich. All right, but you now find out that it's actually typical of all regions. If you go to Southeast, they also have the same thing where they keep screaming and shouting that their land has been marginalized, plugged, their oil has been taken off, and most often than not, they're less involved in politics, except for some of them who are made up them. Most of them who are made up their mind that either they go to school or they will learn some trade, and through their trade, they've been able to raise millionaires, billionaires in some cases, and with all that, Gume is of the opinion that as soon as Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into the picture and Peter Obi came into the picture, and voila, the whole agitation ceased. I could still remember, myself have said that has not ceased as well, whatever Peter Obi is doing now. But there's a disclaimer I noted, which I feel all of us should also note. IPOB said Peter Obi, by venturing into Nigerian politics, have decided that he's a Nigerianist. He's a one Nigerianist. He doesn't believe in Biafra. So since he doesn't believe in Biafra, because they are surprised that he's using his God-given wisdom that he would have used for Biafra, using it to want to help Nigerian government or Nigerian society or country, and that's his business. But those who are for Biafra, who they are actualizing for Biafra, that how Biafra will come, it will not be understand. It's something that Gume may not be able to understand, which means that pari passu, as agitations are going on, though this time around, without all the very strong sit at home that is being felt for the past 3, 4, 6 months now, and but for a while now, that as agitations are going gently, also the for movement for elections, like campaigning is going on. But one thing is certain: if Peter Obi wins, and that I don't need a fortune teller to tell me that if eventually he wins, he's going to engage them. Okay, he's going to ask them, look, what's your challenge? This issue of Biafra. Why are you asking for secession? Why do you want to leave? Sometimes just a bit of dialogue is what we need. But if you now decide to use your final resort as your first resort, when it gets to the final level, you have already exhausted it all using the cane instead of first of all chatting. It's over. So what else will you now use? So I think Mr. Obi, understanding that he's from Southeast, understand why they're agitating, may be in a better position to quell that agitation better once he becomes the president of Nigeria. That's going to wrap it up. What's your take on this?